There's been a new education bill that has been passed by the legislature. It's a controversial bill. It seems like no one seems to be totally happy with it. But what's your view? Do you think it's more positive or more negative, or what do you think of it?
Right now, more negative. I think there's a lot that still needs to be done with the bill, and we haven't gotten an interpretation yet from the State Board of Education. Once that happens, then it's going to come down to the local school committees and superintendents for their interpretation. So we haven't seen yet the end result of exactly how this bill is going to affect our schools. I think there's a lot in the bill that has not been taken into consideration in terms of rural, urban, suburban. There are a lot of things in the bill that are going to work in suburban schools that will never work in urban areas. I think there's still a lot. I think there's a lot of controversy yet to be seen on the bill. A lot to be done before the bill is ever really implemented.
What do you think of those who have been warning that the built-in spending increases in the bill is a threat to other municipal services, although, of course, it passed this time with the first year's installment without having any taxes or any kind of increases. But they're not sure whether in future years that will have the same easy funding, that maybe there might have to be tax increases and stuff.
Easy funding. Geez, I don't think there is easy funding anymore these days, because I'm coming from the idea that children need to become a priority. And while money certainly is an issue, we need to philosophically stand up and say children will be a priority. After that, I think that we have to determine just exactly how much money we're talking about in terms of making our children a priority in education. Oh, there's a money factor. There's no question about it. Are we going to have the same money coming in from the state next year and the year after that and the year after that? I don't think so. So I think that there are a lot of factors, like, as I said, that still are up for discussion and that are going to be extremely controversial. And we could have a 2-hour session on the Reform Act.
Probably. Right now we have a phone call from Marty from Springfield. We just put those headphones on. Marty.
Good evening to you both.
Hi, you're on WNNZ.
Yes, good evening. Dan, I don't think you answered Tom's question if you would vote for Negroni. Do you feel that you don't know enough about him to judge him? Have you been to the school committee meetings? Or I just wondered why you didn't answer whether you would.
She wants to know whether you would vote for Negroni or not to renew his contract.
My stand right now is that a 1-year contract.
A 1-year contract. But how would you have voted had you had to vote at this time for the...
No.
You would have voted no for him. Well,
yes.
That's very good to hear, and I do wish you luck in the election.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you, Marty.
You bet. Bye.
And you can join us by calling 568-6400 or 1-800-736-4640. He's a very controversial man, Dr. Negroni. It seems like there are either people that love him or they're furious with him. But what do you think of the school choice program that he introduced?
The controlled choice?
Yes.
In the city?
It's very controlled. My feeling is that it's, you can choose, but only if you choose what they want you to choose, in which case your choice is canceled. But I don't know. What's your take on it?
I don't like the program. That's being as direct as I can be. I think what it does is it's taking away from people who really have bought their homes in neighborhoods where they want their children to go to school. Choice is not necessarily a choice. We have a lot of people in the city who have made 4 choices. And as far as I'm concerned, parents don't have choices for their children. There's only one choice. The second, third, or fourth choice is really not a good choice. But we have a lot of children who have gone through the school choice program who never got one of their choices. That's wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a very discriminatory program. When people can pick and choose for your child where you want your child to go to school. it has also left some people without access to schools. And I'm talking about people who don't have transportation. We're taking children out of neighborhoods just to racially balanced schools, and we've now cut off access because these people can't get to these schools. They have no way of transportation. Some of them have a linguistic problem. These are the people who we really need to educate in terms of bringing them in as parents, but it's very difficult to do when they're talking about 20 or 25 minutes across the city.
Well, your recent comments have excited the public to call. We have calls backed up. Why don't we take a short break in order that we'll have time to listen to all of these callers. This is Tom Devine on WNNZ.
Dr. Joy Brown gives good advice daily on AM 640 WNNZ.
Put a dependable, spendable check in your mailbox each and every month with an A.G. Edwards Check-a-Month plan. A.G. Edwards can design a personalized portfolio of bonds or stocks, or a mixture of both, that provides regular monthly income. Each month, you receive approximately equal amounts of interest or dividend income, so you can pay monthly bills promptly and conveniently. As your objectives or income needs change, an A.G. Edwards investment broker can help you redesign and update your portfolio to help you meet your current goals. Whether you prefer stocks, bonds, or a combination of both, call A.G. Edwards at 1-800-445-3685 and benefit from competitive rates available today through our Check-a-Month plan. Or visit the A.G. Edwards offices at 91 Main Street in Greenfield. That's A.G. Edwards & Sons, 1-800-445-3685. 1-800-445-3685. Member SIPC.
This summer, prepare to come face-to-face with a 32-foot killer shark, Jaws. Continental Cablevision wants to send you and 3 guests to experience the terrifying, all-new Jaws ride coming soon to Universal Studios, Florida. You'll fly U.S. Air, the official airline of Universal Studios, Florida, and stay at the Twin Towers Hotel. Registering to win this fabulous trip is easy. Each time you order a pay-per-view movie from Continental Cablevision, you'll automatically be entered into our Universal Studios, Florida grand prize drawing. The more pay-per-view movies you order, the better your chances of winning. And remember, all pay-per-view movies are now just $3.95. Watch blockbuster movies like Forever Young, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Howard's End, and A River Runs Through It. With Continental Cablevision, you can experience the ride of a lifetime at Universal Studios, Florida. Jaws. For official rules and details, visit your local Continental Cablevision office or tune to your pay-per-view preview channel. Contest ends August 31st, 1993. No purchase necessary.
WNNZ.
The talk station continues now with the Tom Devine Show on WNNZ.
Welcome. And I'm here with my guest, Mary Diane, school committee candidate in Springfield, and she was just talking about school choice, and it seems to have excited some of you out there. Everett from Hinsdale, you're on WNNZ.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm a senior citizen, and I'm very concerned with the school system in the country.
Uh-huh.
And I think that the president could, really appropriate more money for education. And I think that one of the problems, I said it before, that it lies with the parents, because they don't teach children the proper respect and before they do go to school. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be too much cooperation between parents and teachers. And another thing is the overcrowding of schools and the vandalism and all that. It's just.
What do you think of his comments, Mary?
Oh, I think they're good comments, and I agree with him. But we have to let parents in too. It's been a long time. Parents have been locked out of schools and education for a long time, and that's why I said things are better, but they aren't good yet.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Call again. I think I may know this person. Leroy from Springfield?
Mr. Devine, how you doing?
Yes, this is Leroy Crenshaw, the former mayoral candidate and president of the For the People movement. What's on your mind today,
Well, I
Mr.
just want
Crenshaw?
to make a comment. You have a great person on your show there today, and I do wish her luck because we have a lot of problems taking place today. And I'm not so sure we need more money pumped into our school system because no one is accountable for the money that we already have, and there's so much being misappropriated. And you take Chapter 1 for an example. There's a lot of proof around that it's being misappropriated. The state, the feds have come down, they've done evaluation, and they said what was wrong. But we seem to allow our politicians to go and rewrite the policy on the things that have been done wrong. So by pumping more money, just giving them more money to take away from us. And I know we got to get back to basics, and I think a lady like Miss Leon there, she wants to do just that. And I wish people would get behind her because it's to be a true voice of the people out there. And I know she's a person that you could go to and she will carry out our wishes and not her own wishes. And we just don't have that in government today. Most of these people, they do what they want to do themselves. They forget about the people. We are supposed to be their bosses and they're not ours. But once they get into office, they dictate to us, and the only thing they've done is just taking money away from us, putting it into their pocket indirectly. And there's all kinds of proof around like that. And I'm going to see if I can get some of this information to Miss Dion, and so she can be a little bit more, vocal on these issues. Because
well, I know that she must appreciate your support. Would you like to make a comment, Mayor?
Well, I do agree with a lot of things that Leroy says, and thank you very much, Leroy, for your vote of confidence. But he's right. While we need more money for education, we also need a tool, a vehicle, in order to use it the way it should be used.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Leroy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
I think that goes back to what you were saying earlier about more accountability about how the money is spent, because I think people have grown cynical about how school money is being spent and are hesitant to pass overrides or increase spending in that way. You were talking about how people are not participating in the schools, the parents and so forth, and I wonder to what extent that is related to the loss of the neighborhood school or the watering down of the concept of the neighborhood school. I want to remind people they can call here at 568-6400, but I want you to comment on that, whether the decline of the neighborhood school might be related to the lack of parent participation.
Of course it is. When we live in an area, and I'm not necessarily talking about just owning your own home, when we live in an area, that area becomes our home. There's a community there. There are stores, there are doctors, there's the policeman down the street, there's the fire truck up the street. People live in neighborhoods, but within that neighborhood also comes our children, and our children grow up in that neighborhood, and part of the neighborhood is the schools. When we take our children out of the neighborhood at 7 o'clock in the morning to put them on a bus to take them to some alien place in the city of which they know nothing about, they don't know the policeman on the corner, they don't know the fire truck down the street, they don't know the businesses. We're taking them now into an alien area of which they only have a building to relate to. When they leave that building, they get on a bus and they leave to go back to their home neighborhood. It's a breakup of community. We keep talking about community, and yet controlled choice is breaking up community. It also leaves parents very apathetic. They become very apathetic. They wanted their child to be in their neighborhood school, but because of a program, because of a DSEG plan, their child now has to go outside the school, their school district. Or the parent says, well, maybe my child will get a better education in another part of the city. Or there are some parents who appreciate and enjoy choice. We've had choice in Springfield for 20 years. But now all of a sudden we have a controlled choice program. And I think voluntarily, if parents want to have their children cross the city or go to school wherever they want to do, we can do that with magnet programs. But controlled choice is literally breaking up the community aspect, the philosophy of community in a school system.
Beth Conway made an interesting statement a couple of months ago where she was saying, not based on any statistics she had or anything, but just on anecdotal evidence, that there's a kind of brain drain going on in the schools. She said that she had been told by administrators and so forth that parents are leaving the Springfield school system and that those who are going tend to be the best and the brightest. Now, how can we keep students in Springfield, and how much of a problem do you at Kiley see that being?
All we have to do is start treating people like human beings. That's the first thing we have to do. People move into an area because that's where they choose to live, for whatever the purpose, whatever the economic level. People tend to be very happy where they are. For those who are not, those are the people that we work with, and we have to give them the opportunities that they may not have just because of their poor economic level. But it doesn't mean that these people aren't happy living with their own. They have culture, they have groups, they have community. People are leaving the city. Are they the best and the brightest? No, sir. I absolutely disagree with that. Who are leaving are the people who are not going to be told what to do, how to live, where to send their children to school, and safety is an issue. People are leaving the Springfield public school system because they are not going to put their children into jeopardy. They want only one choice for their children, and they want to become a part of the community. They don't want to be part of the breakdown of the community.
So call us at 568-6400. What do you think of the program which has been instituted in the Springfield schools, where they have sort of a separate school to which students that have been found with weapons or have engaged in violent behavior?
The alternative school?
Yes.
I think it's a wonderful idea. But an alternative school would be for the sole purpose of working with these kids. We do have children in our school system, some of which will never learn in the traditional classroom as you and I know it. They need to have more structure. They need to have smaller class size. They need to be helped through outside agencies. And it's far easier to work with children in an area where they have the facilities than it is to put them in a school that has to concern themselves with so many other issues. Education is the key. But we cannot hurt a class of 30 because of one. And we certainly can't hurt 24,000 because of maybe a couple of thousand students. It's time that we started to deal with those issues. We can't ignore them any longer.
We have a phone call from Frank from Springfield. Frank, you're on WNNZ.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, when you mention school busing, everyone, it seems, hates it, except people that own the buses and the politicians.
Well, those who own the buses certainly make out all right.
And allegedly, Charlie Kingston got $250,000 kickback, it's been alleged, from school buses. Now, is there anything sacred anymore? And they want to bring in gambling? But my point is, we hate busing. The blacks, whites, Spanish, we're not children there, but they are, see, the politicians, here's what they've done, and we're too dumb to know it, including myself. It's called divide and conquer, divide and control. They have divided us, right? Protestant against Catholic, white against black. We're killing each other. And by nature, blacks and whites, I don't see the hostility there. That they're convincing us there is. We hate giving $15 billion foreign aid, $300 billion to defend Japan and Germany against what enemy? $3 billion to Russia. $5 billion we found out 2 weeks ago we gave Bush and Reagan gave Saddam Hussein to build bombers and bunkers. And we don't like it, but see, I'm a liberal and you're a conservative, let us say, and I'm so darn busy fighting you. If a liberal wants to do it, I agree. If a conservative wants to do it, I disagree. And we're killing each other off, and they just gave themselves, in the last 10 years, they doubled their salaries in Congress. They quadrupled their staff. their wives, their children, their friends, their relatives, their neighbors, their in-laws, and their supporters, and they gave themselves a $2 million pension. And we're so busy fighting and killing each other off that we ain't got time to say, wait a minute, we can support Germany and Japan, but we can't put a $1 million to
So
stop,
what do you
to stop the Mexicans, from coming into California?
What do you think, Mary, of Frank's comments?
Well, actually, I agree with what he's saying. But what I had said earlier is that it's time for us to all have a common purpose, a common goal.
See, what you're saying, I love. See, you don't realize what you're saying is this. They have divided us and conquered us. They have divided us and controlled us. We just gave $3 billion to Russia. We can't give $3 billion to the farmers that are drowning and their homes are floating away.
Right.
In Southern California, 50,000 homes got destroyed. That's American people, us. And we can't give them a dime. But we had no problem. We found the money for Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much, Frank. You made a very good point in that our priorities are way out of line. Say, we have another phone call here. Jim from Springfield, you're on WNNZ.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I speak to your guest.
Yes, please.
Well, the question's for two of you, actually.
Okay.
You know, I heard rumors way back when they first hired him. Who hired him? Mary Hurley?
Well, she was the mayor at the time that he got the job.
Yeah. She went to New York to hire him, I guess, right? Went to find him.
Yes.
Now, I heard rumors. I want to see if you know or not, or you're which commentator? Devine?
Yes.
Right.
Be
I like to find
careful
out if he was...
when you're just talking about rumors, though.
Yeah. This is only I heard. I'd like to find out if you know that he was fired off his job he had or dismissed. Did you hear about that rumors at all?
I don't think he was fired. There was a controversy surrounding him leaving. I don't think he was particularly popular when he left New York.
That's right. I heard he had
I don't believe he was directly fired.
I heard two places previous to that he was, relieved of, dismissed.
Well, he's been controversial everywhere he's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, and this price that they gave him for the pay, my God, it's foolish. Now, this budget they got, the state gave, $19.5 million, right? Springfield?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
How come we gave $2.5 million of that budget to the city? Why? They blackmailed for that money or what?
Well,
understand?
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying because we certainly, as parents, fought that last fall. But on the same token, I'm not sure that any of us have enough information at this point to understand just exactly what the transfer of money was and how it was done.
That's what I'm saying.
I absolutely disagreed with it. I disagreed with the concept of it.
Yeah, we did blackmail the school department. We got to pay for our own fuel and this and that. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the police department don't pay for their own. The budget comes out of the city, you understand?
Right.
They had to hire 6 more cops full time to pay them for that, this drug stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're getting time and a half each one of these. Did you know that? They're not doing it for the goodwill. They're getting time and a half each officer. Did you know that?
Well, no, I'm not running for mayor.
I know, but I mean, you ought to fight this pain taking out of school kids, understand?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good talking to you.
Nice talking to you, too.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're right up against the break here, and we'll be right back. I welcome you to call us at 568-6400, and this is Tom Devine on WNNZ.
AM 640 is the talk station, WNNZ.
Clorette's Breath Fresheners present The Work Break. You're finishing up a cigarette at work when you realize your breath isn't a little alarming. It's really alarming. Don't get upset. Get Clorette's. No other breath freshener's more effective than Clorette's. So, pop a couple in and relax. Your breath will be calm in no time. When your breath's really alarming, get Clorette's. Clorette's available in both gum and mints.
If you think it's unbearably hot this summer, the Discovery Channel invites you to step into the cold for 3 bone-chilling hours. Antarctica, planet of ice, where temperatures reach 100 degrees below zero. A land where the raging sea smolders like a never-ending forest fire. And emperor penguins rule. Take an amazing journey to Antarctica, planet of ice. Beginning tonight at 8, only on the Discovery Channel.
The world's most famous name in aspirin is fast becoming famous in non-aspirin pain relief too, because now there's Bayer Select. 5 completely different aspirin-free products for 5 different kinds of pain. Sinus pain, headache, nighttime pain, menstrual, and minor arthritis pain. They're Bayer products, but they're not aspirin. They're Bayer Select. Exactly what's right for exactly what's wrong. Use only as directed.
Where are you in the late afternoon? If you're among the 2 million people living in the expansive coverage area of WNNZ, you can discuss the issues of the day with New England's own Gene Burns. From 3 till 6 afternoons, Gene engages his callers and you with thought-provoking and entertaining conversation. Whatever you do in the afternoon, stay tuned to AM 640 for Gene Burns on WNNZ.
This is Tom Devine. I'm here with Mary Dion, the candidate for school committee here in Springfield. And we're going to go right to the phones and talk to Betty from Springfield. Betty, you're on WNNZ.
Hello, Mr. Devine.
Hi.
I want to say hello to your guest, Mrs. Dion.
Well, hello, Betty. How are you?
Good. It's good to know that we have some new blood running for school committee person.
Well, thank you.
I'm one of the other parents, I guess, out here that's very frustrated with the way things are going in our school system. And we do need a change, and I agree with you 100% about everything that you're saying. And also, one of your previous callers made a statement about our good old Dr. Negroni being fired from New York. I was attending a meeting at Western New England College, and it did come out of his mouth that he was fired from New York. So if it's a lie, it's Mr. Negroni's lie.
This was Dr. Negroni himself who said he had been fired?
Dr. Negroni himself said this. And like I said, if it's a lie, it's his lie. And I've been very upset about a lot of things and the changes that are taking place in Springfield. Matter of fact, I'm so frustrated, I'd like to take one of my kids out of the school system. I have taken one of my other kids out of Springfield Public School.
And where would you send them?
Well, right now, the other daughter is going to Long Meadow. I probably would take my youngest child out and send her to Long Meadow, too, eventually, you know. But that's up in the air. I was hoping that we could get the Springfield school system straightened out so I wouldn't have to do that. It is a hassle. I know there are a lot of parents out there that would like to do what I'm doing but can't do it because they're working. I have to drive her every day and pick her up. And I don't feel it's fair to me as a taxpayer to have to take my kid to Long Meadow. I should be reimbursed with the money that they're misappropriating here in our school system. And I am very, very disappointed.
What's your opinion of that aspect of school choice?
I don't like it. I think it's bad. What it does is there are poor minority kids out here that would like to, well, the school choice that we have now, you mean a controlled choice?
Controlled choice, yeah.
Because the one that my kid go to is different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the controlled choice, I think I agree with Mrs. Dion, right, you know, she's right on the money. You don't have a choice. They say you can put down your first choice to go where you want, but a lot of kids don't even get their first, second, parents don't get their first, second, or third choice. And I just don't think it's fair. And I don't see where it's going to really, they talk about balancing the kids off. I don't see where it's going to do racially balance it. It's not doing it. Because if the parents can send their kids to other schools, to the nicer schools, they're going to do it. And there's no way I'd send my kid to, there are certain schools, such as, and I don't want to call names, that in certain neighborhoods that I wouldn't dare send my kids to. I fear for their safety. I don't feel they'll be safe. I hear too many things. I talk to other parents. They tell me of the drugs that's going on, that's taking place. They tell me of the knives and the weapons that's been taken, you know, from kids at school. So I think it's really bad. We just caught in a catch-22, and there's nothing parents can do. We've been locked out of the system, and I think it's bad, and I am, at the point now, I'm going to get a petition and, try to get these parents in gear so we can get some changes now. And I really appreciate Mrs. Mary Dion.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Betty, and I agree with everything you're saying, and I've seen it from too many people myself.
Okay, you all have a nice day.
You too.
Thanks. So, she was talking about how she's participating in this state program, right, where she can send her kids to Longmeadow and so forth. What's your view of that?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's a very unfair program. And I think it, again, comes back to community. It's one more program that is breaking up the community of which we've all chosen to live. And it's also breaking up communities that are already in existence out in suburbia, rural areas. It's not the opportunity to work for people. It's the opportunity for more polarization. We have a city that is polarized. We have different neighborhoods that don't want anything to do with other neighborhoods. And it appears that it's our children that are taking the hit for all of this. And what we should be doing is bringing communities together through our kids, not destroying them, not locking them out, separating to conquer. There's something wrong with what's going on here, and we've got to get back to human feelings. We have to do things for the human being. We can no longer do them for self-agendas or special interest or different cultures. We are all of a culture. We are all human beings.
So if you'd like to join our conversation here on WNNZ, call 568-6400. Or if you live outside of the greater Springfield area, feel free to call at 1-800-736-4640. Now, there's a controversy developing over the old Monarch building on State Street, and some people want to renovate it into a school. Apparently the city is negotiating with Mass Mutual, which now owns that former Monarch building. What's your view on a new high school for Springfield and how that's developing?
We need a new high school. And I don't want to use the word new, but we need a building that is going to provide for our senior high school students who are in serious trouble with space. And it's too bad because those are the kids that we need to get out into the world today. We don't have time to work with them. They're leaving today. We have juniors, we have seniors, we have sophomores. Overcrowding is a problem in our high schools. We need a new high school. Do we need the Monarch building? I'm having some serious concerns about the Monarch building. We already have Putnam Vocational, which is right behind the Monarch building. When was the last time anybody heard of two high schools that could work together and live within the same corner of each other and be happy about it? We're talking about two very different high schools here. I'm also very concerned about the fact that Dr. Negroni has been the one who's been negotiating this, and while Dr. Negroni may be the superintendent and he may know education, my total feeling on it is that the mayor is the one who should be negotiating for the city because it is a city building.
True.
I'm not quite sure of what's going on there. We've heard a lot of rumors, and every rumor, 9 times in 10, is worth nothing. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that develops. But is it a good place to have a high school? I don't believe so. And again, we go back to that community. We're going to put more students into that corner of State Street. But the problem is they all have to learn to live together, the two schools.
True. You can call us at 568-6400. I want to ask you about this big article that appeared in the Union News a month or so ago, where they were talking about bilingual education. I think it was Ed Friedman was the one that was raising it, and he was claiming that supposedly there are teachers hired for the bilingual program who don't speak English themselves. Now, what do you think about bilingual program in general, and how would you improve it if you think it should be improved at all?
In general, I think bilingual education has been around for a long, long time. I think it's already proven itself. And what it's proven is that we're doing nothing to help these children get into some kind of a common goal format. And when I say that, we have children who cannot speak English. They need to learn English in order to become a part of the system in a way that they can learn. Now, we can teach everybody else another language as we go along. But the problem with that is that while we're busy teaching language, we're not busy teaching the very things we put our children into school for. They must learn how to read. They must learn to sentence structure. They must learn to comprehend. And once they've done that, then they can pick and choose what languages they want to learn. When we bring our bilingual children in, all we're doing is sending them through the system as bilingual as they come in. And that's a poor situation. These children need to learn a common language. And it, again, has nothing to do with culture or losing their identities. What it has to do with is bringing everybody to a fair level of learning.
Well, we're pretty much up against the clock now. I want to thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much, Tom.
And I hope that we can have you back sometime before the election. Good luck in the primary, which is September 21st, I believe. The
primary is September 21st, exactly. And the election is November 2nd.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I guess this is it for another week, folks. I want to thank Beverly Devine for manning the phones. I want to thank my producer, Barbara Heisler, master of the machines. I want to thank all the great people at WNNZ, and especially the volunteer staff of the Bay State Objectivists. This is Tom Devine saying thank you very much. Until next week, good night.
Gil Gross, Barry Farber, and Michael Reagan talk weeknights on WNNZ.
America's having a home sale. Good time to buy? Yeah. And Countrywide's low mortgage rates make home loans affordable. Better chance to qualify. In advance, by phone. America's home sale. On now. Call Countrywide first for a fast loan okay at 800-877-LOAN. 800-877-LOAN. I like it. Then call the movers. Equal housing lender.
I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, medical doctor and nutritionist. If you're interested in garlic and its healthful benefits, then you should know about Garlic. Garlic's a convenient one-per-day tablet that's twice as potent as any other garlic tablet. It's odor-free and easy to digest. Ask for Garlic brand garlic from SunSource Health Products. It's the most potent garlic tablet there is. Garlic at Kmart, Rite Aid, CVS Peoples, Thrifty, and Osco Save-On. For a free brochure, call 800-777-2000. 800-777-2000.
Start your day with Michael Harrison from 6 till 10 on AM 640 WNNZ. Westfield, Springfield, the talk station.
CBS News, I'm Nick Young. St. Louis is under a watery siege. The city is at the confluence of two mighty rivers, the Mississippi and the Missouri, and both have swelled to record levels. Upriver a few miles, the Mississippi surged over a sandbag levee at Alton, Illinois, knocking out running water to 73,000 area customers. CBS station KMOX reporter Roger Brandt had a first-hand look at the levee from the air.
Just becomes saturated. It's like springing leaks through the sandbags. It's like the kid trying to put his finger in the dike. I mean, there's just too many holes to plug up, and so the water is seeping through at quite a rapid rate. There's several fire department pumpers from the Alton Fire Department there down on Main Street with their pumps running as quick as they can, trying to shoot the water back over the wall, trying to ease the flow of what's coming in, but it's coming in just too quickly.
Officials in St. Louis have put out an emergency appeal to any able-bodied resident of the metropolitan area to help in the frantic sandbagging battle ahead of a crest expected tonight or tomorrow that will bring the Mississippi within just 2 feet of the city's flood wall. Well, President Clinton is leaving nothing to chance, spending part of this day on the phone from the Oval Office, shoring up support for his deficit reduction blueprint. The Democratic leadership on Capitol Hill says it has the votes for a whisker-thin victory, though Senate GOP leader Bob Dole said on ABC News This Week that he isn't so sure.
I think it's
50-50.
If the package does pass, it will be despite the defection of Oklahoma Senator David Boren.
I've decided that in conscience, I simply must vote against this plan as I see it coming out of the conference committee. Doesn't keep faith with the taxpayers. We started out talking about twice as many spending cuts as tax increases.
Boren's comments came on the CBS News broadcast Face the Nation. While Israeli tanks rolled home, tens of thousands of refugees streamed back to what's left of theirs in southern Lebanon following a week of pounding by Israeli artillery, gunboats, and warplanes. The Israeli withdrawal comes a day after a U.S. brokered ceasefire took hold. Secretary of State Christopher has left Washington to the Middle East, hoping his trip will put regional peace talks back on track. Israel's highest court, just days after acquitting John Demjanjuk, has blocked his deportation, at least for the time being. Jesse Schulman has the story.
John Demjanjuk now faces what is either a short delay on the way to freedom or the start of a new ordeal. A panel of judges of the Israeli Supreme Court today ordered him held in prison for 10 days while prosecutors consider whether to try him again. His son-in-law, Ed Nishnik, who'd expected to fly with him to Ukraine today, was bitter.
This is nothing more than the slow killing of an American family. This madness has to end.
A separate, higher Supreme Court panel cleared Demjanjuk on Thursday of charges he was the notorious death camp guard known as Ivan the Terrible. But the court said then he had worked for the SS, and many Israelis were angry that an apparent participant in the Nazis' crimes would go free. Jesse Schulman, CBS News, Jerusalem.
This is CBS News.
Here's news about a revolutionary product that's energizing America. It's called Ginsana. All-natural Ginsana is the best-selling herbal supplement in America. It's the first standardized ginseng extract, the only ginseng product clinically tested for 25 years. Who uses Ginsana? Middle-aged men and women, senior citizens, busy executives, college students, and athletes. There's only one Ginsana. No sugar, no caffeine. Ginsana is energizing America. For a free brochure, call 800-777-2000. 800-777-2000.
America's having a home sale. Good time to buy? Yeah. And Countrywide's low mortgage rates make home loans affordable. Better chance to qualify. In advance, by phone. America's home sale. On now. Call Countrywide first for a fast loan okay at 800-877-LOAN. 800-877-LOAN. I like it. Then call the mover. Equal housing lender.
Top officials of the European community have spent a second day wrestling to find a solution to the currency upheaval threatening to bring down the EC's 14-year-old monetary system. The senior ministers are working against a deadline of Monday morning when there are fears the reopening of currency markets could spark a renewed attack by speculators. In Fullerton, California, officials say at least 15 tanker cars have derailed, though there were no injuries and little of the flammable liquid carried by some of the tankers was spilled. Authorities say the mishap was caused by a switching locomotive on an adjacent track. Authorities in Newport Beach, California say a natural gas leak is apparently what triggered an explosion this morning. It leveled a restaurant and killed one employee. Police say 5 other workers in the El Torito restaurant were injured. 5 people have been killed by a moderate earthquake that rocked the Sudanese capital of Khartoum this morning. Authorities say 22 other people were injured in the quake, which measured 6.2 on the Richter scale. Nick Young, CBS News.
Clorette's breath fresheners present the work break. You're finishing up a cigarette at work when you realize your breath isn't a little alarming. It's really alarming. Don't get upset. Get Clorette's. No other breath freshener's more effective than Clorette's. So pop a couple in and relax. Your breath will be calm in no time. When your breath's really alarming, get Clorette's. Clorette's available in both gum and mints.
You spend $40 a month or more on AT&T long distance. You call one U.S. area code off. You want 25% off those calls, 15% off the others. You have a phone handy? Call 1-800-426-4752. Now save off AT&T basic rates 24 hours a day with no monthly fee. It's savings made simple. Another part of the I plan. I is for individual. Only from AT&T.
Discounts apply to residential, direct dial, domestic AT&T long distance calls, subject to billing availability. Other limitations apply.
At 6:06, here's the WNNZ weather. Partly cloudy tonight, lows near 65. Monday, partly sunny, highs around 80 degrees. And Tuesday, partly cloudy, chance of a shower, lows in the mid-60s, highs 80 to 90 degrees. The highs, 80 to 90 degrees. It's 73 degrees in Greater Springfield at the talk station, AM 640 WNNZ, where Roger LaPlante reports the weather live, weekday mornings. It's an evening of Folk Thursday, August 5th at 7:30 at the Skinner State Park Summit House off Route 47 in Hadley. Annie Wenz and Rudy Weeks perform in this benefit for Friends of the Holyoke Range, working to preserve the Skinner and Holyoke Range State Parks. WNNZ is happy to be at your service 24 hours a day. Send news about your club to the talk station, Springfield, Mass. 01103.
WNNZ.
From the talk station, here's Barbara Heisler on AM 640.
And good evening to everybody. I'm Barbara Heisler, and in studio with us, Edward Collins. He's international representative for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Excuse me. Also, president of the Pioneer Valley Central Labor Council, AFL-CIO. And it's nice to see you again.
Oh, it's good to be back, Barbara.
Putting you to work this summer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, we found out about the settlement of the lockout. I learned that, the lockout of Bay State Gas, and we're going to talk about NAFTA.